Andrea loves everybody. I'm here today with Carlos Luis Delgado.
Hello.
Carlos came from work.
I did. I came from a Lyft ride.
A Lyft ride
From work.
From work.
And
Yeah.
That
Okay.
always puts me in a real weird headspace because I have very bad social anxiety. And
Just like small space with a stranger.
yeah, when I'm alone by myself, I feel vulnerable. And so then when I feel vulnerable and alone, my Newark, New Jersey comes out, and it's just very like, don't fuck with me because I will hurt you. Like, and I that's not
Kind
who
of like
I am.
a caged,
Yeah. I'm not that person at all. I'm a real big, I'm a sweetie
Softie.
petite.
Yeah.
As some might say.
Yeah.
Mr. Softie, if you will.
Super
a senior
adorbs.
softie.
I would say, yeah. So I like to start the podcast with things that I love about my guest.
Oh, sure.
So I'm going to just start that real quick as long as we're talking about how sweet you are.
Is it okay if I don't make eye contact while you compliment me?
That's totally fine. Please look away.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
prefer my compliments to be accepted with shame. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
better. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. I love Carlos. I love talking with Carlos because he's a softie cutie.
I'm a sweetie petite.
Sweetie petite. He's
Yeah.
super adorable. He's a sweet pea. He's really funny. Your joke about 9/11 is probably one of my favorite jokes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's a new one. I wrote it out here.
I heard it. I think when like the first week you came back, you must have just written it, and I heard it, and I was like, "Oh, that's such a good take," and I just love it. And I like when you do jokes, I want to see you do that one all the time.
Thank you. I should write that down.
Sometimes you're like, someone has a bit that you're just like, I just really like this bit, and I just want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So
That
like
is
there are
very
bits I'll hear
sweet.
over. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So that's one of my favorite bits. I really like it.
I'm going to have to take that back with me to the East Coast.
It's really good. Yeah, for sure.
Thank
I
you.
assumed you had written it in New York because it's so great.
I didn't. So part of the reason why... I'm sorry, are you done complimenting me?
Okay, well, I'll compliment you more. But
Okay, we'll spread it out.
Yeah,
we'll pepper it out throughout the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
For sure.
Part of the reason why I guess like I wrote it recently was because I was looking for some notes that I had for the podcast and I can't find them. I'll try to look. But anyways,
It's okay. I have so many notes.
you have notes.
We'll be okay.
I like to have notes too. I wrote this. I don't know why.
Oh, that's a great, very hairy.
Yeah.
Carlos showed me a beautiful drawing of a penis.
I don't know why.
It's very girthy.
Thanks. Yeah, I like to like. Yeah.
Hopefully not to scale.
No, this isn't mine.
Okay.
This is not a self. This is not a self portrait.
It kind of looks like a cucumber. It's very curvy. I'm a little concerned.
When I start writing premises or material,
Yeah.
my hand just starts to freeform. So I started off with this,
Yeah.
and then I was like, well, it's like a bush. I might as well draw a dick next to it. And so then I drew a dick.
I mean, clouds, trees, anything else, but no, dick.
Well, I also have the Cartman triangle of drama and conflict.
Oh, beautiful. We were just talking. I was talking about this earlier with Anna.
I have a lot of stuff here. But anyways, part of the reason why I wrote that bit out here recently was because I started working on some self-esteem issues and some self-help. And I recently joined Al-Anon.
Woo woo.
Thanks. And so basically, I'm just starting to think about a lot of stuff from my past and in my life in general. And I'm like, oh, I blocked out a lot of things,
Yeah.
And so I remember 9/11. I remember where I was. I'm not going to do the bit, but the story of it was I was in high school, freshman year, first period, history, and I was giving a presentation on some country. I can't remember which one. And I was like riffing, and I was like already like being the funniest kid. It was like my first year of high school.
Yeah.
And outside,
Finally, you are.
yeah, and exactly outside of the window was across the river from Newark, New Jersey to Manhattan side was the World Trade Center. And saw it go down behind my head, it went down, and I turned around and I saw it happen. And I immediately started making jokes because like I just didn't know what was happening, right? I was like, oh, look, the antenna's gonna go down. I can't watch Telemundo anymore. Like I'm like riffing, like it's and then shit got serious. And then
Sometimes when you like to make jokes all the time, you can look like an asshole later.
yeah, luckily I didn't. But the reality was I ended up getting a B on the presentation. And I was like, isn't there like a rule? Like, you know how in college when your roommate kills themselves, you get an A? Like,
something.
shouldn't I have gotten a courtesy terrorism A for my...
I can't believe, I went back and I was like looking you up because I was like, I just kind of wanted to refresh myself with a little bit who you are. And it's fun to like watch how people grow and change in stand-up over time. So I saw some of your older bits and I was just like, oh, like that's Carlos for sure. But it's cool to like learn a little bit more about your life. But I'm surprised that story... Like you haven't always just had that bit, you know?
I guess I've for self-defense purposes, I've always just kept myself very parochial.
Yeah.
So I just don't.
That's a lot of comics when they start out. It's just like, let me talk about other stuff. And then you're like, well, that's fine. And then you start to talk about you. I really like to get in there right away. So I'm like, let me tell you all my darkness and let's go there first.
Well, it's because you've had access to your emotions like more steadily or sooner throughout life. And I guess I've just been forced for survival purposes to just not access that at all until honestly 25.
Cool. How old are you now?
30.
You're 30. Okay.
I'm 30.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a 5 years. Good and bad, but good mostly.
Yeah. Isn't that when you started kind of doing stand-up? Or?
I started doing stand-up when I was 21.
Oh, you're so... Oh,
20,
you've been doing it so
22.
long.
22, actually, yeah. Yeah, I started in New York.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like right after I got a DUI when I was 22. It was right after my DUI. I was working at a T-Mobile in West New York, New Jersey. Right across the river. Dope. And I was listening to My Hero, Patton Oswalt, every day on the train to work. And then some other albums too, like Jackie Cation's like one of my favorites.
I love her so much.
And I got to do her podcast.
Did you really? Oh my God, I love her. She's such a dork. It's hard because it's hard to have like female comics that are just fucking awesome that you get to. And I feel like there are so many, but we don't talk about them, like Jackie Cation and Maria Bamford. And what's her?
I was in her special.
Were you really?
Well, I always get this text maybe every couple of weeks. We'll be like, I saw you in Maria Bamford's special. And what it was is right in the middle of it, there's a moment where she, has a great punchline that lands. And you just hear... And then it cuts to me just in the crowd, head back, like that for like 2 seconds. And so I'll be like, that's my biggest credit at this point. So like,
That's cute.
I'll get, actually, no, it's not. Anna Valenzuela told me to stop saying that. It's not my biggest credit. I have other credits. Okay.
I was going to say, you've done things.
I've done things. No. Okay. But it is nice shut up. It's nice to, get that text every once in a while. Because I have a very distinct laugh and I have been very self-conscious about it for most of my life. Because I can describe it only as the cry of a mariachi. That's my laugh. But it comes from such a place of true joy when I access that. And do you know that show, Trixie and Katya?
No, I don't know this show.
Do you know Drag Queen World? I'm kind of new to it,
Not
like
really.
the RuPaul's Drag Race world.
I'm familiar with it, but I'm not like into it.
Okay.
Like immersed.
I'm the same. Like I'm aware of it. I can watch YouTube clips of some cool stuff, but like I really don't know what it is. But there's like these two drag queens that got their own show on Viceland called Trixie and Katya.
Oh, I think I do know the one that she has like that super dramatic makeup and they like talk.
Trixie Mattel. She has this laugh just like mine.
Yeah.
And so when I'll watch that show and I'll feel so connected because I'm just like, yes, bitch, feel it. Feel the joy. Don't let it.
That's your laugh. You own that laugh.
Yeah.
Yes, queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like whenever I laugh, my inner Beyonce comes out.
Aww. I love it.
Thank
you. It makes
you.
me so happy.
Yeah.
So we're here today because we're going to talk about how being the child of addicts alters how you have relationships as an adult. And we kind of, Carlos messaged me and he was like, hey, like I want to talk about this before I head back to New York. And I was like, that sounds cool, blah, blah, blah. We started talking. I started doing research about this yesterday and I was like, holy shit. Because I've taken personality tests that are like, you're a Jungian, blah, you're an INFJ or like.
Oh, that bullshit? Like on OkCupid, everybody's like, I am a RESPECT.
And I'm just like, okay, I could be like, I kind of this, I could be that. But like nothing I feel like has patterned my behavior in such a succinct way as recognizing like, you're the child of an addict and your childhood was scary and you like to be in control of everything all the time and you're not comfortable having fun or being loose around people and you trust no one. And I was like, oh, maybe I should stop all of these behaviors. Like none of this is safe or good. And so like researching this, I have some like, I don't know if you have like a jumping off point, but like for me, I just felt like I was like, I should go to a meeting. And this is something that I just was like researching late last night. So I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you a couple of things.
Yeah.
And this
tell
is
me your perspective and all of.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that I see it is I've known this my whole life and I've had all the answers my whole life. I've just never had the tools to access that.
Let's start really quick your parents, so you say you're the child of an addict. Are your parents sober now?
So dad dead, died alone and drunk. Mom sober my whole life, and I didn't realize why.
Okay.
It was because her dad died drunk and like died from cirrhosis.
Okay.
So my mom.
How old were you when your dad died?
Well, no, younger, 11, 12.
And did you have any sort of relationship with him or not really?
Well, okay. So I was an only child until I was like 5 or 6. And then my 3 half siblings were brought up from Ecuador and I was introduced to them for the first time.
So they're older than you.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So I went from a single child to the youngest of 4 overnight, basically. Like I just kind of found out I had family. My parents brought them up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they all hated me because like, I'm just like not family. Like they were raised in South America. I've always been like, I'm the son of the black sheep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm twice removed
right.
of black sheepedness. So like, that's how like removed I am from it. I don't have a relationship with my family at all. 0, except my mom. So so that happened, and my folks split.
Okay.
For familial reasons. My dad drank and fought a lot, and my mom's like, please don't do that anymore. But she's also a codependent.
Right. So she's like, well, if I fix him, if I love him enough, if I help him enough, it'll help.
Do you know how my parents met? You don't, because obviously, how could you know? But
I'm not psychic,
rhetorical
but
question.
me,
Rhetorical question. My mom was a bartender at a canteen, and my dad was the drunk.
Oh my God. So she'd call him a cab every week and she's like, this is love.
This is love. Right.
Well, and that's something that I was reading about is like being the child of an addict is that you mistake pity with love. And I was like, oh, I do that.
Yes. So I can
go ahead.
I can get
I'm
to
just
that.
like
That's a key
we'll
thing.
Like weave it in as we go.
100%.
Maybe. This is a
yeah. We're listening to each other actively, so I feel comfortable that this will all make sense to the people listening to us.
I hope so. Yes,
it'll be fine.
Okay.
So there was no relationship there, so I basically became estranged from my dad.
Okay.
But bounced around a lot of family houses, nowhere to live really. So just like a kind of a lot of abandonment.
You weren't living with your mom?
No. So what happened was my mom remarried another guy, and they were like basically living in his room in an apartment. And there was like, like
there's no room for you.
There's no room for me. So she like rented an apartment for me and my sister, and we just kind of like lived there. And
how old were you?
And 12, 13. Around
You're
that time.
a kid. You're not.
Yeah,
What?
I was a boy. I was just a boy. So I basically like learned.
And how old's your sister?
She's older, 4, 5, 6 years older than me.
But she's not old enough to be your mom. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely not. And also, she didn't care about me. Like she's like, we're not like, we might have been blood related, but like there was no family there. Like I spent most of my time just trying not to get hit or bullied by like my cousins and like these people that were supposed to be my family. I think there was like a month where I didn't speak. Like they would just like make fun of me, and then they just stopped because I just didn't give them anything. I just didn't speak, I slept a lot of times under a pull-out couch mattress. So like under the mattress, on the floor, hiding basically most of my formative years. Like it was like...
That's horrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And then
Jesus, Carlos.
But then like going to school was like a problem because like for a while I was the only non-white kid, so I just had to deal with like shitty racist teachers and kids.
So you're just getting shit from everywhere.
All sides.
And just like trust no one. There's no support system.
At all. Zero. Like, and then like I had like a couple of friends like were just like the misfits of the misfits,
Yeah.
And then like I just was like the funny guy automatically,
Right.
Just from necessity.
There's no way else to be.
No, or like one of like the losers. And that didn't appeal to me. Like I didn't get into pot. Like me, I'm a huge pothead. I didn't start smoking until I was 26.
Okay.
I was just like a late bloomer.
With weed.
Yeah, 100%.
I was a late bloomer with the drugs.
With the drogas.
That was such an El Madrigal moment. And
yes.
I heard his voice.
You heard it?
Yeah, I heard that bit. I heard everything. El Madrigal has this beautiful bit about when his cleaning lady accidentally took drugs for the first time. It's so funny.
My heart's fluttering a little bit that you know that bit.
I knew it, and I recognized the exact accent. I was like, that's exactly El Madrigal saying that right now.
I'm glad I'm here right now. I'm so glad.
We're friends, Carlos.
We're friends.
This is happening.
This is happening. So yeah, I just got shit on from all sides. And then I just got older. Just had to learn. And so that is the foundation for everything that has happened to me as an adult, basically, is just all the abandonment and the codependency. And then
So you built a foundation on earthquake sand. And now you're trying to build a beautiful building.
Yeah, I got the zoning rights cleared. I got the architect. I got the funding, but
I didn't know sand could be on fire as well. No. I didn't know.
Well, it turns to glass. Did you know that?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, that's what I do. I make glass.
You make glass?
It's very breakable. It shatters glass houses from the foundation up.
Yeah,
sand on fire.
I like very brittle foundations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could see right through them, but no strength.
And if I scream at a high enough pitch, it'll shatter.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's
like, this is the saddest but most beautiful metaphor.
I think combined, we just became the poet laureates of Los Angeles in this moment.
The poet laureates of sadness? I don't.
Yeah. Oh, that's our punk band.
Oh, hey.
Poet laureates of sadness.
Wait.
I'll play bass.
Of course, obviously.
Yeah.
I got tambourine. It's cool.
You got a tambourine? You fucks with tambourine?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. Okay.
I was just like, if I was going to play an instrument, that's one that I would feel confident about. Like
the tambourine?
Tambourine in a punk band. I got this.
Dude.
That girl's just dancing, not wearing shoes. None of it goes with anything.
No, but do you hear her tambourine? She's 1/16th beat off the beat. And that's the thing. It keeps catching up every 16 measures. This girl's she's the Mozart of tambourine. You just got to listen to the subtleties.
I'm like the Rain Man of tambourine.
You're making it rainbourine. Okay.
So you have this foundation that's not great.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm going to love other people. How does that work out?
So I was like around 18 or 19 and I became friends with all the older kids.
Okay.
Because I was just a funny guy.
Yeah. And you also had like this life experience of self-sufficiency where you kind of don't necessarily relate to people whose parents pack them a lunch.
I introduced my friends to porn.
Right.
That's the guy who I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, condoms. Have you heard of them? That was me. I had no need for them at the time, but I knew about them.
I love how you keep slipping into the jersey.
Oh yeah, that's just me.
It like comes in and out. It's like really funny.
It's So the thing is, now that I've been out here for a little bit, because I speak fluent Spanish.
Right. And I hear that too. Like you'll kind of slip into that and it's like,
That comes out too. But also my Spanish is reflected is reflective of what area I'm in. So here in LA, my Spanish is turning a little bit cholo. So I'll be like, yo, what? Because I'm going to come back to Brooklyn and be like, yo, what's up, fool? Like, they'll be like, Carlos, what happened to you? I'll be like, yo, churros, baby. I've been eating them churros. Like, yeah. So anyways, Jersey slips in. I was the one who introduced my friends to like all the, the cool shit. I became friends with all these older kids. And then I started just drinking, just like from 19 to like probably like heavy, 25.
Did you like it?
No.
Why did you do it?
My nerves.
Made you feel less anxious.
Yeah. So number one, I was always anxious.
Well, because it numbs your feelings and it kind of puts you in a depressive state where you're more calm and
Yeah. And so I did that. And then like at first it was fun. Like the first 2 or 3, you get a little, bright in the cheeks, a little loose. That's fine. And I can do that.
Yeah.
But when my anxiety started kicking in, and when I realized I felt trapped, or when I realized I had like these expectations of other people, like I'm supposed to be the party animal, I'm supposed to be the fun guy.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. I just keep drinking. I black out, keep drinking, pass out, keep drinking.
That's kind of like a Chris Farley syndrome a little bit of like feeling responsible for the joy of the party.
Yes. Yeah. And I would say those behaviors are pretty parallel, I would say. But I would just always have this like in the back of my head where I'm just like, the people that I hated the most were drunks. The people that really ruined my life were drunks. The people that like made me feel like I don't trust anybody were drunks.
Yeah.
Like I had an uncle who would take me to hang out at bars when I was like 10 and like have me give the bartender a knockoff gold necklace that he bought so that I could try to hook him up with the bartender by being cute. Like that.
Yeah, that's some outside. Like, why? It's
right.
Just,
That's like I'm just like, dude, just go try to fuck the bartender. Like, like go take your shot. I'll learn more from you if you just try to take a shot and fail and you're not an asshole about it. That is like such a tool that all boys should see and learn, you know?
There's a problem that I had. So like I kind of almost reacted the opposite way because like my dad was only in my life till I was like 6 or 7. And then he had to go through recovery and he like wasn't in my life for a couple years. And then he kind of came back. And
is he clean?
He's clean. Yeah. My dad's been clean for 23 years.
Oh, congrats.
And like I have a mom and a stepdad and I have a really great stepmom. So like my experience is a little bit different because like that.
Did you have support?
Yeah, exactly. So like I went to a counselor when I was young and like.
Damn, what's that like?
Yeah, like my mom took me to a counselor when I was like 6 or 7 because I was like acting out in school and stuff. And so like I had like things that helped me. So like I functioned in school well. And I kind of went the opposite where I was like, I don't like drugs. I don't like drinking. I don't like being around people that are doing this. I think it's weakness, like to an extent of like, I think it's pussy shit by pussy people that can't function with who they are. And I don't want to be a part of it. And I never want to like the opposite, like fuck this, fuck all of that.
Yeah.
And so like my reaction to drugs and alcohol was basically just like, I'm always the designated driver. I want to be able to leave a party whenever the fuck I want to leave. I don't want to have to be here when everyone gets fucked up. I don't want to be a part of it.
That's what I'm learning to access now. Is that exactly what you just said? Because I had like this crisis moment. I was like at friend of the show, Claire O'Kane. I'll say friend of the show.
Okay. I don't know her.
Claire O'Kane. She's a comic from out here in LA. She lives in New York now. She's great. She's a good person.
I'm sure you're awesome, Claire.
She's dope. Love Claire. It was her album recording at Bar Lubitsch.
Oh, great.
And I was like, I didn't really want to go out, but like I wanted to see her because she was only in town for that. So I'll go pop by. And I had just like weird interaction with this comic that I kind of know, but not really, from New York and who's out here. Just made me really uncomfortable. Yeah. She made me like, and again, she didn't do anything wrong. That's just who she is. But I kind of didn't set boundaries for myself. I kind of allowed myself to be managed by her tempo in the conversation. Okay. And I just felt uncomfortable at that point.
Okay.
And then that's when I realized that would have been the moment where I would be like, bartender, 2 tequilas, por favor. And then just, calmed myself down.
To help you calm down instead of recognizing like, I'm just not comfortable with this conversation. It's okay to be uncomfortable.
Correct. The proper response that I probably should have taken a beat detached from the conversation and replied with was like, I don't feel comfortable answering those questions, but I just want you to know that I'm okay if that's your concern.
Okay.
That's what I should have said. Yeah. But I didn't. I just kind of like walked away a little bit. And
sometimes when people come at us in ways that we're not expecting, though, I think it's like my biggest thing is like surprise. You're like, I don't know what to do. Like if people ask you a question you're not comfortable with, and then you walk away later and you're like, oh, that doesn't sit with me right. And you might take you a day or two to realize why you didn't like it. So like that's normal.
Yeah, 100%. But not when you're a recovering codependent, because that is war in your heart and in your mind immediately, that like giving the power to this person who's maybe showing narcissistic personality tendencies. Like I'm attracted to alcoholics. I'm attracted to narcissists. I'm attracted to women who only care about themselves.
That's horrible.
I know, but I'm like getting better. But like that, but basically if I'm immediately snap attracted to a woman, I know probably she's a problem. Like that's like my compass.
So you're fighting that instinct now when you hang out with people is like, okay, this is my compass. How do I have the kind of that where I'm attracted to people that are in need. So like they might not be a really selfish person necessarily, but they just have a lot of problems or a lot of things that need fixing. So it's similar.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah.
Because a person who's narcissistic
needs you.
Needs you.
Yes. To worship them. Yeah.
But also needs you to be whatever they need.
Yeah.
And when we look at people with pity, that's a problem.
Right.
Because that's where
you're not seeing them as equal.
Right. Yeah. Who are we? Is this person physically or mentally handicapped or unable to function as a member of society? No. Then we have no responsibility. We're not beholden to them as a parent, as a lover, or as a friend. They are responsible for themselves. But I don't see it that way. When I see a person who needs help, I just want to throw everything at them.
Yeah.
And then we get into a problem because then we don't feel fulfilled.
Because then we're living together and I don't know who I am anymore.
Exactly. That is literally what happened to me right before I moved here. Like, I moved here to get my shit together. I was eating Xanax and vodka every night to
That's
not feel.
Good for you.
Well, thank you.
It's not.
No, it wasn't. But that's not even who I really was. Like, I was just doing it for I literally spent a summer not feeling. And then I was.
How long did you? Okay, so we're going to kind of map this out because Carlos and I have talked off air a little bit about this.
Sure.
So you lived here in LA for a while. You moved back to New York to kind of pursue comedy in a place where maybe it's taken a little more seriously. I don't know what.
No, that wasn't it.
Or what?
Well,
Yeah.
I moved out here because I left a job at a TV show in Washington, D.C. And I was like, I think I'm ready to start my own stuff. I think I'm ready to like try my own hand at my own career.
When you were here last time in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
So before I moved here that time, I was in Washington, D.C.
Got it.
And then I, for a year, quit my job.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to start. So I moved to LA. And that's where we met for the first time.
Right.
I was living here. But during that time, I was seeing somebody long distance from D.C.
Okay.
And I would fly out to do shows and spend time with this person. And what ended up happening was I ended up moving to New York and moving her up with me.
Okay. That's a huge commitment.
Yeah. And I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it at all.
Yeah.
I should have stuck to what I wanted, which was to be here at that time.
Okay.
But I didn't. I gave that up and I was like, fuck it, I'm from New York. I did comedy in New York. It's fine. Well, it wasn't because it was a castle built on sand. And It was really like, it was probably the peak codependent relationship I've ever had. And it was eventually it just fell apart. Resentment,
Was she also abusing substances or
yes.
what? Okay.
Oh yeah. She knows what she does. And again, I don't judge her. I think she's at her heart an honest and good person, but she has her problems. And
but you're not responsible for those problems.
No. And I was her dad almost. Like I was driving her to work every morning.
Yeah.
I was like, doing the laundry for her, making sure the room is good.
Well, that's what I was always. My mom was that for my dad, and the story she told me. I was like, you had no other life. Like you just had another kid that was your husband.
Yeah,
and like I can't do that, and I can't be that, and I don't want that for my life.
Well, that's the critical point that I hit, where I just put my hands in the air. I was like, I can't do this. I'm leaving. So I paid 2 months of her rent.
But then you feel responsible because you're enmeshed in her life now.
Well, that was the problem, was trying to tear away that codependency. And that is a vicious, ugly feeling.
Well, because you feel so guilty. Because they need me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So to turn that off, I completely blocked this person on all social media, everything. So I can never speak to them or have them speak to me. And then immediately just start fucking numbing it. Just numb for a whole summer.
Like Pac-Man.
All them pills. Nom. And fruit, because vitamin C.
Right, obviously.
what am I fucking up? But then I remembered that I used to live here.
Yeah, and it's warm.
It's warm.
It's nice. There's people here that are like you.
Yeah, and
so you're like, I'll leave the city.
I just had to. I basically gave the city to my ex. I was like, you're a comic. You're here now. Fucking, it's yours. And I left.
What's your how long have you been in LA? Is this like 5 months, 4 months?
This will be 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole winter from November till March.
Okay.
I was here longer last time.
Yes.
I was a lot longer.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got out here, like I felt uneasy still. I felt that torture inside of me. I didn't really know what it was, but I knew what it was.
Because bad feelings can travel.
I didn't know that. I thought when I broke the lease, the pain stays in Brooklyn. I was like, I don't live here no more. I don't pay the lease. I already changed my address. Pain, stay away. But no, that's not.
You can't have pain where there's palm trees. It's all pain here.
It's all
there's
pain
so much
here.
pain here.
Palm is just short for pain. It's pain trees. So yeah, I got out here, and by January, it was a mess. I was like, I wasn't drinking that much, thank God, because I started to get over it naturally. I was just kind of like, my body was just like, dude, just smoke a joint, relax. So thank God for that. But but New Year's Eve, I got so fucking drunk and so loud. and I was a problem. Definitely. Like, not like a fight anybody problem, but like, dude, you peed with the lid down.
Yeah. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, and I
don't want to hang out with you.
I hate being that guy only because I'm not there to see it happen. And also when I see other guys like that, I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, grow up. I don't want to with this.
Yeah.
We're not at a frat house.
We're not at a frat house. Although I was the king of the frat house, as you can imagine. I was doing,
especially with your Harry Potter scarf. Who wouldn't be?
Dude, all right, there's a lot about this scarf. I don't want to get into it just yet. I will get into it.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, so I just realized all that shit. And then I reached out to our mutual friend, Anna, who had told me about her own beginning with codependency issues.
Anna Valenzuela, who I just talked with.
Friend of the pod.
A few minutes ago.
Friend of us personally.
I love her.
She's the best. This is my sister. My real sister. And I reached out and I was like, hey, what's the name of that book about codependency? Like that. I just reached out like that. Because that's the point that I hit. And I was telling Anna, and then I'll tell you, I was ready to quit stand-up.
That's not good because you're good at it.
Thank you.
So please don't. Most people I would encourage to quit, but I would prefer you keep doing it.
Well, I decided to keep doing it. But in the moment, I was looking up how to be a DJ.
No.
I downloaded the master class. You know those master classes? I'm from Jersey. It's in my blood. So I downloaded it and I was like, maybe I'll just learn how to, I'm good with music. I know how to, I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I almost went to music school if it wasn't for alcohol. Like I know music very well. So I was like, I can do this too. And like, that's how crazy I was.
That's the thing that makes me angriest about drugs.
What's that?
Is just because, so like as a person, I choose achievement over drugs because it also gives me a release of dopamine. It's a workaholic thing. It's probably also not healthy. Mm-hmm. But I just look at people who are so talented and so smart and so interesting and think about who they could be if drugs weren't a problem in their lives. And that like hurts my heart.
Can I tell you what though? I'm going to retract that. It wasn't alcohol.
Okay.
That I don't have a drinking problem. I am a drinking problem.
What does that mean?
That means I'm addicted to relationships. I'm addicted to drama. I'm addicted to narcissists. I'm addicted to having this codependent need filled.
Yes.
That's what I'm addicted to.
I feel that.
Because as soon as I address that, guess who doesn't want to fucking drink anymore? This guy.
Yeah.
At all. Like maybe like I'll look at it and be like, oh, you know what? I do miss like having a PBR for flavor, but I don't want to drink anymore.
I listened to this TED Talk. It's really good. It's about addiction and something that, a long time ago, there's a study that's cited all the time and it's about rats and cocaine. And what it is they put rats in a cage and they gave them a regular bottle of water. They gave them a bottle of water with cocaine. This is on a TED Talk. I'll cite it in the comments.
It's a great experiment to refer to as to the impact of change of environment versus the impact of addiction.
Exactly. So in this experiment, for the listeners who don't know the secret, which you do, is that the rats in this environment where there's nothing to do except drink regular water or drink cocaine-laced water would drink cocaine until they died. They would kill themselves. And scientists for years cited this study as like, well,
here's addiction.
It's chemical.
That's how it works.
This is how it works. We're all going to be addicted. It's a thing. And then one scientist was like, I don't know, I smell BS. Maybe the rats are just sad. And so he made what he called like Rattopia.
Rat City. Rat City, bitch. Rat City, bitch. Rat City, bitch. Anyways.
He made Rat City, bitch. And he did the same thing. He set up cocaine-laced water, regular water. Rats could play all day. They could fuck all day. There was food. They had friends. They could party.
They had Rat Box.
They had Rat Box.
They were playing that shit?
Yeah, like it was like the hamsters with the Zunes or what, the cars. You know?
I remember. Yeah. The Mazdas.
The Mazdas, yeah. They had like cute little, everything was great. Paradise.
And?
The rats really weren't into the cocaine.
Yeah.
Because they had friends.
Well, there was like one Colombian rat who was like super into the cocaine water.
Well, he just kept hoarding it and there was a lot of guns.
It was a little
gun
rat
running.
He had a little rat tail set up.
Yeah.
Oh, the cutest.
It's so cute.
El Rato. El Rato.
Raton? Isn't it Raton?
Well, no, it's Chapo, but I'm saying Rato.
Oh, I get it.
Rato.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cute.
So to mirror that, That's pretty much kind of what happened.
So when you're not sad, you don't need drugs as much.
Yeah, but also when I recognize why, when I want to drink, I take a step back and I ask, what's going on with me right now? What's happening to me right now?
Right.
Like I force myself to ask that question and I'm like, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, I'm scared. And then I address that, then leave. And that's what I did at that bar.
Yeah.
I walked up to my friend Claire right before her set. I said, Claire, I've hit my limit of social anxiety. I have to go, but I want you to know that I love you. Have a great set. You're going to kill it. And she said, I understand completely. Thank you. And I miss you. Boom. And I left.
Yeah, isn't it nice being a grown up and realizing you can just leave places?
That was my first. I'm like, it's like I almost have like a joke about it. I'm just like, did you know you can just like end conversations when you're done? Did you know that?
You can just leave places.
No idea.
You can leave dates. You can leave movies. If you don't like it, you don't have to be there.
I thought you just sat there until you started loving yourself. I thought that's how it worked. That's not how it works, Andrea. That is not how it works.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
I'll leave anything I don't like. Any situation. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this. I'm going home.
You're braver than I am, but I'm getting there.
It's not bravery. It's just like part of it is a time thing. So like I went through this whole crisis when I was 16 because I recognized my own mortality and I like couldn't sleep and it was like a whole thing.
Same thing happened to me around 16 as well.
Oh, yeah.
Panic attacks still have them.
Panic. Like I didn't sleep for 3 months and then you're just like, no, you just got to accept that you're going to die and it's fine. Yeah. And I have all these crazy dreams about
But it's never fine. No.
Well, it is fine because you can't control it, and it's fine.
Do you know what I wrote down on my hand today?
What?
Miss me today, not when I'm gone.
Isn't that like a angsty teenager lyric or like?
No, it's exactly what I wanted to say to a person that I would consider at this point an acquaintance who randomly texted me because they found out I was leaving. They're just like, you're leaving? You didn't tell me? I'm like, well, you haven't talked to me for like 4 months. So
that's weird.
Why don't you miss me today and not when I'm gone?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. But instead I was just like, I gotta go, bye.
Sorry, I'm anxious.
Yeah, sorry, I'm anxious. Sorry that I made myself feel weird because you were weird. I don't know, whatever.
Well, that's the weird thing is it's just like if you recognize like my time on this earth is finite and I don't want to spend time being with people or doing things that make me not feel good.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean like leave a situation because it's hard or leave a situation just because you're uncomfortable. Like maybe stick it out, try to figure out why you're feeling that way before you just abandon it.
Sure.
But if you're like, I'm uncomfortable because this person is making me not feel good and this doesn't feel safe or I don't feel like this person is hearing me or understanding me, you don't have to hang out with that person.
Shit bugs the fuck out of me. The moment that I feel like you're not listening to me, it's over. Like I get angry. Like
I don't get mad. I just like this thing happens. So like I have this dissociative thing that I have started where I recognize is what's happening part of my actions or is what's happening something that this other person is projecting onto me. And recognizing the difference between that is so valuable because it helps you push away when people are reacting to you negatively because of how they feel and not necessarily because you even did anything. Like there have been times where people have been aggressive to me or mean to me because of some insecurity that they're feeling. And I'm literally only approaching you with love and kindness. Mm-hmm. I did not mean to hurt your feelings or like anything. And I'm going to apologize for this. And if they can't see that I'm sincere, then that's about them. I can't do anything to fix or control that.
Yeah.
And so like there's things that have happened where I'm just like, oh, this isn't about me at all. This is about you.
Yeah.
And you're making me feel shitty and that's not okay. And I'm not going to be okay with it.
Well, I can absolutely see like the foundations that you have built in you because that's a very healthy way to react to that kind of situation. Mine would kind of be just be like, what did I do wrong?
But it's a lot of mental gymnastics to assess situations and to think about them and to see that. And I think it takes a lot of time.
It's detachment.
It's detachment,
and that's the thing codependents don't have. That's the thing I definitely like I've started to work on is
it's something I'm working on too because I will feel at first like it's taking me a really long time to get to that place and I feel like at 29 I'm just starting to feel comfortable with that.
I think that's a trend. I think when I turned 30, I felt like something switched in me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like figure it out or you're going to die. Like that was kind of like the feeling I had.
Well, my way in relationships still isn't good in romantic relationships. And it's something I'm recognizing. I recently was with someone that turned out to have an addiction problem. And I felt so guilty for saying like, I can't date you. And putting my foot down and be, and you feel those guilt. And I talked to Anna, I was like, I feel like guilt feeling still, but I know in my brain that this is a healthy choice.
Yeah. Let's get into that then.
Yeah.
Let's talk about romance.
Let's talk. Can we? Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't have a lot of time left, unfortunately.
We'll make it short.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We talked too
No, we're talking just the right amount we need to talk about. So I'll give you my rundown.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I think the moment that I decided to like get better and like work on myself, I think I as Saint Anna would say, there's a disturbance in the force. So
I don't feel good. This isn't right.
No.
Yeah.
The disturbance in the force is the narcissists who usually depend on you will notice that you're not being available to them anymore. And then people who normally didn't see you as attractive might look at you twice now because you have this thing that you're carrying now. And for me, it's my self-worth. Like I'm carrying it now with me.
Yeah.
And so there's some people who normally feed on me that I'm just kind of like barrier. And then now there's other people who maybe I haven't met yet before, but I've met recently. And they're like, hey, what's up with you? I'm like, yeah, how you doing? Like,
Yeah.
So, so in terms of romance, I have 2 rules that I try to keep. If I am immediately 100% snap attracted to somebody, there's probably something there that I should be careful of. And then I don't know how else to say this. Like, you can be a really beautiful, intelligent, original, awesome person. But if I kind of feel like you're a little boring, then that's probably the right choice for me.
Ooh.
Because I'm addicted to drama.
I have a tough time with boring people really hard.
And I don't mean like they're not saying anything interesting boring. I mean like, oh, there's no excitement here boring. Like there's no like, you're not going to yell at me for no reason boring. Like that kind of boring.
Or like you haven't experienced horrible trauma and therefore you cannot and will not understand me and it's not valuable to spend time with you.
That boring.
Yeah, that's a really healthy conception.
Mm-hmm. It's recent. It's from, listening to other people in groups talk about it and some reading that I did. I mean, it's just, I grew like a fungus in the past 2 months in terms of like emotional well-being. Like I really made a lot of realizations and that's one of the biggest ones romantically for me. I got to find a boring chick.
That's such a hard thing. Like I have a really tough time with that with people because I'm like, if I can't access your pain and your trauma to understand you, I don't know how to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to learn how to engage with people in healthier ways.
Yeah, in ways that are like fun.
What's your joy?
Yeah.
What's your goals? What's your fears? What's everything that's not broken about you? Because I will tend to your broken side, but once that I feel like you can reciprocate in a healthy way to me too.
Well, and also with an understanding that
I'm not your mom.
Yeah, I'm not your mom. I'm not raising you. You're not taking advantage of the fact that I'm strong and I need you.
Right. Absolutely.
That's really beautiful. So you've been going to meetings?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my chip in my pocket and everything.
That sounds beautiful.
ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics. That's where I go.
Can we talk after and can you give me some information?
I can.
That sounds really valuable.
Mm-hmm.
I know we have to get going because they're going to have a meeting here.
Okay.
But before we leave, this has been a really good talk. I wish we could talk forever because I like hanging out with you.
I can do a part 2 in the future.
Actually, that would be really good when you come back into town.
Or when you come to New York.
Oh my God.
Come on. I'm having by the way, I want to say this officially. Part of the things that I'm doing in Brooklyn is I've pretty much hired myself as my own client.
Okay.
That's kind of like the mentality that I have right now where I'm
Beautiful.
just like, no, my career. So I'm going to have my own podcast space in New York, in Brooklyn.
Beautiful.
I'm the Archduke of Bushwick. That's my title. And I'm starting my own podcast called Let Go and Let Gucci. It's going to be out on all of the medias, but it's basically my journey with learning to let go of the bullshit and to let Gucci Mane, my Lord and Savior, carry me through the future. He's
with his sick beats.
Well, not just that. He was a former, he's a criminal, but like he went to jail. He was on lean. In jail, he got clean and sober, became a vegan.
From lean to clean.
Lean to clean, baby.
Beautiful.
And like he got married and he's like the most positive person on Twitter right now. Every day he posts like, be yourself, live your truth, fuck the haters. I'm number 1. Who wants to be a photographer for me? I'll hire you. Like Gucci Mane is the turnaround kid.
That's really
and
sweet.
he's kind of become my inspiration for my recovery.
That's adorable.
I know.
Is that why you have the Harry Potter scarf?
No, this was a gift and it's really warm and people are giving me shit about it. Not you, but like in general. And I'm just like, look, I don't give a fuck about Harry Potter. It's just a really warm scarf.
It's really cute.
Thank you so much.
This has been really great. This will come out probably in like a month or two-ish.
Yeah.
So by then, hopefully your podcast will be up and
Already
running.
up and running.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to plug social media?
I do. I have a comedy album out called Featuring for Myself. It's available on all the things, including Audible. So if you want to check that out, it's pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I have an album out through Rooftop, and you can catch me on social media at Ceviche Poppy across the board. Spelled like it sounds, Ceviche Poppy. You know the face, you know the name.
Can you spell ceviche for white people, please?
I can, and you should try it. It's delicious. CEVICHEPAPI. Ceviche Poppy.
Do we have time for me to ask him one more question? Okay. Since we're here, I know you already plugged all your stuff, but this is something that I really like to close the podcast by asking. And it is, now you've kind of gone through this beautiful transformative experience and now you're on this like new path, which I think is really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Something I always ask people is, what is their fear in love? So when you get that feeling of love and like, what are you afraid of for the future? Or do you have like a specific fear that you are trying to avoid? I feel like we kind of talked about most of it, but I'm wondering, you're kind of in this new headspace now. If you have a certain place where you're like, I just don't want to go here.
Yeah. I never want to feel like I can't be myself around somebody truly and fully all the time.
Yourself.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as I try to be around people that don't make me feel that way. And I'm very blessed to have people like that in my life, including yourself and Anna and some people like that. But like in terms of like who I want to be with romantically, my fear is that I'll meet somebody and I'll get involved and then I'll hit, maybe one day they'll make me feel that way and then I can't be with that person anymore.
That's a weird safety thing where you feel like
I've always been abandoned. I just can't have that in my life. It really fucks with me. So that's my fear. It's pretty much abandonment, emotional abandonment.
Well, an abandonment for who you actually, your true self.
Who I really have started to be really all the time. I introduce myself like, hey, my name is Carlos. This is the sound of my voice all the time. Like I am not mad. I'm just from New Jersey. This is how I talk. I will not whisper. Like, that is pretty much who I am.
No apologies.
No.
Beautiful.
I'm Carlos and I'm not sorry for that.
I love you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thanks. I love you too.
People who are listening, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Andrea Loves Everybody. If you have any comments, questions, critiques, sweet things to say, stories to share, send them to andrealoveseverybody@gmail.com. And you can follow me on all the other social medias. And I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.
Bye.